Let's take a look at my favorite new feature of 2019 release in Premiere Pro and After Effects, that is Hue Curves in Lumetri color effect. Hey, my name is Piotr Toczyński, you can call me Peter. Cut to the Point channel is all about mastering film editing, about streamlining the editing process so you know what's the point of every cut you make in the story you want to tell. This is the second out of 5 videos about the new release of Premiere Pro and After Effects for video editors. Be sure to check out the first video as well, and there will be a link to the next video at the end of this one. Okay, let's get started. New Lumetri color curves are my favorite feature of new release, and there is a few reasons for that. One of them is that I believe that you, the viewers of Cut to the Point channel, have had its influence on it. Let me explain. A few months ago I posted a video where I said something like this. As I've said in my Lumetri color tutorial, luminescence saturation curve is my most wanted upgrade to this effect. You can find it in DaVinci Resolve, and thanks to it, for example, you can desaturate shadows very easily. In the second part of the video, I'll tell you how together we can convince Adobe to make it a part of Lumetri color effect. I created a feature request on Adobe's user voice forum and you guys responded. It was one of the hottest threads and it gathered over 100 votes in only a few days. But what makes it so special, you may ask? Well, basically it makes Lumetri color effect even more powerful. Thanks to it you can do color correction and color grading inside of Premiere Pro, which makes the whole editing workflow more efficient and faster. And please don't misunderstand me, I would still use DaVinci Resolve for a high-end production where I would have a budget for colorist. But the whole workaround you need to go through is not worth it for a majority of my clients' projects. Adobe calls it Selective Color Grading tool. Up to this point, if you wanted, let's say, desaturate the range of color, you could do it using secondary color correction tab. But if you've ever tried it, you know that it's kind of pain in the ass. So they introduced 5 new curves. Let's discuss what they do one by one. Hue versus saturation curve is what has been here before, only in a different visual representation. Do you remember that color circle here? Basically, that's the same tool. On the horizontal axis you have a hue, and on the vertical axis is the saturation. So if you select a range, let's say of blue hue, you can move this point up to saturate the hue range or down to desaturate it. The vertical line that shows up indicates the changes that you will introduce to the picture. This makes it easy to understand, and I think is especially useful for someone who's new to working with curves. Hue versus Hue curve has hue on both horizontal and vertical axes. This means that we can very easily change the hue of a selected hue range. Once again, the vertical line shows you exactly where to move the point to accomplish given hue. Is it something you will be using in your edits? Let me know in the comment section. I do reply to every comment, so let's have a conversation. Hue versus Luma Curve has a hue on horizontal axis and luminescence on the vertical axis, which means we can easily change the luminescence for a selected hue range. The fourth, Luma versus Saturation Curve, has a luminescence on the horizontal axis and saturation on vertical. This is the curve I was talking about a few months ago, so really desaturating shadows could never been easier and faster. You can do an opposite of course as well, or saturate only midtones, a very powerful tool to have. The last one, saturation versus saturation curve, has saturation on both horizontal and vertical axes. This means that we can, for example, saturate areas of low saturation or desaturate them even more if that's what we want to accomplish. I hope that this walkaround proved that curves can be very powerful and very useful to you. Adobe brags about this two-axis approach, and I must admit, it's nice because it makes the changes foreseeable and makes this tool even easier to use, especially for a beginner. But on the other hand, it's not like it adds a new layer to this tool. These curves are not better than the one you can use, for example, in Resolve, but they're finally as good. You can see that there are color pickers for each curve. They will select a range for you depending on where you click on the picture. The checkbox here, on the other hand, will deactivate the effect of the curve so we can preview before and after. My only regret is that you cannot use something like a global color picker that would select the range on each of 5 curves after one click. Are you listening, Adobe? This should be easy, right? Please add it to the next release. And one last thing to remember, if you want to reset a given curve, just double click on any point on it. It works the same way like for any slider in Lumetri color effect. The new curves makes the color grading process easier and faster. I do love this feature, it's something I've been waiting for. Though there is one thing that is still missing in Lumetri that I hoped to see in 2019 release. I'll talk about it in the 5th video of this series, so keep watching. Comment down below which one of those curves seems to be most useful to you. There are a lot of links in the description you may want to check out, including a link to Premiere Pro product page. Please subscribe if you're serious about video editing and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on new videos. And if you would like to get notified about them to your inbox, please subscribe to my mailing list. You'll also get a package of bonuses after you join. It was Peter, until the next time, shoot and edit like there is no tomorrow.